Om. Namaste. Welcome everyone to Satsang today. Very good.
Hi, Mooji. I've looked at life from a very scientific temperament most of the times, and that helps simplify a lot of things. And from what we understand of the universe from physics today, there seems to be no room for choice or free will, at least as far as there is a psychological self. So there's absolutely no room to believe or to even have a room for choice. So it indicates, at least from a scientific perspective, that there is no choice and everything is just happening on its own, and choice is an illusion created by thought, if you want to call it that. So this is a very, it frees up the mind at many times and just takes away all responsibility and just makes me calm. But at the same time, sometimes it makes me wonder as to, then what am I doing here, or what is the point? If nothing is necessary for anything, then what's the point of the satsang as well, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah, so if you want to just talk about that.
Yes. So you say, from scientific point of view, your research has exposed that there is no room for choice. The things are just unfolding, So there is no choice. Choice is also a sort of myth or something. So, okay, let's say that there's no choice, then also there must be no chooser also. No chooser, no choice, no chooser also, isn't it? Can we keep going on? So, no chooser, then what is left? No one choosing, no choice. Then some things are, life is just happening. For whom? For whom is it happening? Who says it's even happening or not happening? Some intellect must be there. Some powers to discriminate must be there. To say this is or it is not. Or not. There also discrimination. Is there room in the world for discrimination? In physics?
But that's the thing, the moment you speak about it, it's not possible to say it, you know, because that also is part of the same, whatever you...
Yeah. How far does the physics go?
Still within the framework of thought, so it is limited in that sense. It's clearly understood. But within the framework of thought, it still makes things a little cleaner.
Yes, we're getting there. Why not go all the way? See how far we can go.
Yeah.
So, okay. So it comes to thought. And then, is thought aware of itself? Is any thought self-employed? For whom do thoughts function also? Who is the thinker of them? Before a thought appears, was it known about? So what is thinking then? And the thinker also. Does this one exist?
But that's another idea, isn't it? The idea of a thinker.
Yes. Whose idea?
Yeah, but then again it comes in a paradox, because if you say whose idea, that who is again another idea.
Yes.
So it's a sort of endless regress.
Then, but what would recognize it as an idea? But this physics must keep going. It
Yeah,
cannot
but the
just,
moment you ask what, that already creates a room for another idea.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's...
But are the ideas this way or this way?
But even that again is another idea, whether it's this way or this way.
Yes, yes, yes. What would recognize it as an idea?
This.
This. Did physics talk about this?
It doesn't talk about it, but it leaves it there as an open question.
Yes.
Yeah.
It leaves it there. And where is the physicist?
Yeah, there's a saying that Heisenberg said that a physicist is an atom's way of looking at itself. You know? So the universe trying to look at itself in a way, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But there's also this thing that as long as there's an observer and observed,
Yes.
the truth can't be known.
The
It doesn't
truth
say
cannot be known.
Cannot be known as
Yeah.
long as the separation between the observer and observed. It's not called the truth, it's called measurement in the scientific term.
Yes.
But as long as there's a relationship between an observer and observed, you cannot measure anything precisely.
But this observer and the observed, they are both also observed.
Yes.
Then what is the position of that one? What is it? What is there? And don't go out into the field of ideas and speculation and postulations. It has to be intimate. Don't exclude yourself out of this process. You see? What is looking or overlooking all of that?
It's just this, isn't it?
This,
Yeah, the thing is I can't put it in words because the moment I put it in words, it has an error.
Not necessarily. No, nothing happened. The moment something is put in words, it is seen from the position of some kind of, you may call, conceptual image or something.
Yes.
But witnessing of this image is occurring also.
Yes.
All this is reporting to something. It's in the presence of some kind of intelligence, you might say like that. Come on, fight a little bit.
Yeah, but again, that implies space and time and cause and effect. And all these...
Space and time are also phenomenal.
And cause and effect as well, because you're saying this...
Mind.
Yes. So nothing is left at the end of it then. I mean, because if you say anything, then it comes within the boundaries of cause and effect, isn't it? Within the realm of cause and effect.
And the perceiving of. Cannot be cause and effect, and who is the perceiver of cause and effect?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, the perceiver cannot be in the bubble of cause and effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's coming something more intimate. See, from the theory of it, we can speak like this. And what a fascinating subject it must be for the physicist, who is also another idea. And so this beautiful subject is being watched like that. Ultimately, what is left, you see? Both the object and also the subject that is related to that object are now perceived. Both are objects. The subject, which is as an interest in the object, must share similar quality. But if there's interest, then that pure, allegedly pure subject is a bit contaminated. It's not totally free of bias. It has some interest. The observer and the observed, you can say like that. If the observer has some interest in what is being observed, then what is the interest is also in the observer. So this observer cannot be totally pure.
Are you pure as an observer?
Huh?
Are you pure as an observer at the moment?
I am independent of that. I'm independent of it, and yet it is connected to my being because it is perceived within me. But it is variable. If the observer is also variable, it is not absolutely observing.
So this conversation is an idea again, is it? I mean,
useful idea, a very useful idea. Because unless somehow the ideas somehow collapse, they don't hold their weight as absolutes or as a kind of pure subjectivity. They're just ideas. They must be occurring to something else that perceives them as ideas.
So this conversation is happening to as it's not really as real as we think it is. This conversation as well, it's happening to that consciousness.
Conversation is happening on behalf of that pure consciousness that for some reason is a little bit entangled in its projections and forgets its perfect root, and now somehow a bit confused by the mind, which is also its projections, and the belief that it is the body, which is also projection. Now it is looking into that, you may say contemplating that. So all the world becomes a bit like a mirror for it, to see that the only thing that was worth knowing ultimately is that it is absolutely perfect, even though it cannot really divide except through dream. It appears to be divided into subject and object, cause, effect, this, that, world, all of this. It may sound what we are speaking is theoretical, but there is a power inside this that must come back to experience. It cannot only be speculative. The scientist must include himself in his research.
There's nothing to research.
Huh?
Then there is nothing to research, isn't it? I mean,
you're finding this out?
I feel that it's over. The moment you do that, there's something that just stops.
Yeah.
I mean, when this happens, there's thoughts coming in, and it clouds that. But then again, there's moments of clarity when I know there's no point.
The thoughts coming in, and then something clouds that, but that clouding is also seen as a phenomenon. It's not embraced. It's just another effect in consciousness.
So you just have to live with that, thoughts coming, interfering, then again stopping. And
no, they don't interfere. Interfering is only the effect that is caused because identification with them gives you the feeling that they interfere. Otherwise, they don't interfere.
And why is the identification happening?
I cannot answer that absolutely. I can say somehow when the consciousness manifests with the form, there's a powerful attraction for the form. And it seems like everything in that world is helping to create a conditioning and a belief that the consciousness, which is not the form, is going to believe that it is the form. It's going to believe I am this form. And when it believes I am this form, I am this person, other conditioning can pour in much more strongly. But that must be the first conditioning. I am this body, then I am a man, I'm a woman. Men behave like this, women behave like that, and so like this it starts to build all of that big tree. In spite of that conditioning, something is independent of that conditioning that's able to observe. That is the conditioning or the effects of conditioning, but there's an awareness of that conditioning, and now it is seen not as a fact but more just a phenomenal movement. And the seeing is independent of it and not touched by the activity of that phenomenon. Sorry we're using this type of word, but at the moment I am not finding better ones. But, yeah. So, let's complete the conversation nicely. Let's see what we're going to do now. You have seen from that point, and I'm very interested. When people come, they say, I'm a mathematician, I'm a physicist, I'm a chemist. Can we discuss something on this basis? I said, I'd like to listen to you, what you're saying, and we find that somehow something corresponds. Because all are expressions of consciousness. They must empty into the same ocean. All these rivers and streams, they must go to the same place. What has been your own experience?
You mean my personal experience,
yes,
or through science?
Isn't it the same a little bit?
Yeah, as a result of science, the see, some of the conclusions are undeniable, even mathematically.
Yes.
There is no room, like I said, for choice or free will, because the whole thing is an interconnected system which is interacting with itself.
In your own personal life, are you not making choices?
Yeah, it seems, I feel.
It seems.
Like I'm making choices.
Yeah, it seems. A good word.
Yeah.
It appears as though choices are being made. Huh?
Yes.
Something seems to be doing this. A movement seems to occur like that. Yes, I'm going to go. No, I think I go here. Yes. And some things which we call a choice, actually not choice at all, actually. Maybe there's a feeling, I want to go here. I choose to go this way. But the signal started earlier. Yes. It's already happening. Then it reaches the conscious mind, and then the feeling comes, I think I'll go here. And then it is attributed to the mind as thought like choice. I chose to go here. But it's only a cooperation, a recognition of energy suggesting it wants to move this way. Like that.
In neuroscience, it's called as readiness potential. The thought activity for a choice starts almost 1 second before the person knows that he's choosing. So where does that leave us? I mean, it's fine for a conversation,
us
but how
is
to...
What? Us being what? In your words, what you refer, us is what? In your statement, where does that leave us? What is the identity of us?
Yeah,
what you refer
us
to?
is that feeling of psychological self, even though it's an illusion, but it still has a certain existence.
Yes, it is within the whole. It's within the mechanism of the functioning of the whole, manifests like that. The sense of choice and so on. The sense of the person having this problem, needs to work something out. This is why it is called here the lila, the sort of play. Not the reality, but the play. Something is happening like this. Why play? Because there's an awareness which is earlier and independent, in whose presence this play is observed. If there is strong identification with the sense of person, then the gap between what is happening and the sense of the perceiver seems very, very narrow, sometimes fused. When they are fused, you are confused. When you are fused, because you believe what you see, everything is like this, everything goes in the mind, and the mind is constantly trying to work out, this is true, I must do this, in this very, very active, volatile state. As soon as somehow that consciousness somehow steps back, so to speak, or is pointed to the truth that, but these are observable. What you're witnessing is observable. There's a consciousness behind this. Be there, stay put there, and just look, observe, don't judge, don't identify. And then a seeing emerges that, oh, but that's only coming and going. It's only coming and going. There was a mistake trying to make what is coming and going by nature appear to be still and solid, but it's only an appearance. So the consciousness is present in which this discernment is taking place. Then who is the one who is witnessing now? Who witnesses all of that? Then said, don't think too much. You can feel also. You see, all of that is being seen. Everything. Time is seen, change is seen, objects are seen. Everything on this side of the eyes is seen and perceivable. The whole phenomenal world, the elemental world, all this movement is perceived. And internally also, the world of feelings, emotion, dream, imagination, sentiment, all of that is also seen. Then I was saying earlier, what is the position of that one who perceives outside and inside? Where is the location of that one? Both the sense of in and out with respect to the body is perceived. From where? I don't want to speculate. Return your attention just to that sense of presence. We have to come back to the sense of presence, without which there is no perceiving, there's no life, there's no existence, there's no I. Then there's no you, there's no world. Everything is emerging from this presence, this consciousness, this conscious presence. This sense of being that arises, I am. What is this I am? The physicist also has I am. If he's not given the title of physicist, man, woman, angel, whatever, if he's not given any other title, just the intuition, the sense I am, if that is not connected with any other concepts, intention, idea, image, what is it then? Even beyond the words I am, what the words I am is pointing to.
It's that feeling, I can't say it.
If it is a feeling, what is aware of the feeling also? What observes it even as feeling? With this type of thing, it's closer than intimacy. You're right here. You don't have to go anywhere to solve this mystery now. Your physics is only evident in the waking state. When you're awake, consciousness is present, then you can have physics, you can have the physicist, you can have the research, you can have speculation, you can have all of this. So it must be the content of the waking consciousness and the activity of consciousness in its aspect as waking state. As you are here, without you, there could be no physics, no for you. No study, no world, no I even. Something is earlier than all of these, because all of them are perceivable, all are noticeable. That which sees everything, perceives everything, potentially and actually, or actually. That which perceives everything from any time frame, any subject, any idea, can only report to it. That which sees everything else, can that be also seen? In order for something to be perceived, it must have some characteristics, some quality, to say that it has size or weight, or color, or something that discerns. It's discernible. Okay, I can perceive it. But this one, in front of whom everything is perceived, can it itself be perceived? After this question, I don't have any more question for you. But this question you must find. Because intelligence says, if you want to learn more and more, then more and more questions will come. More and more research will come. But if you want to go to the source, your questions will be diminishing. Then ultimately they must come to one question. Everything is reporting. Everything is reporting. Everything is reporting to that, without which nothing else is. That is the perceiving center, the core of all things, the source of seeing. Then can this seer be seen, be identified? What is it? What is it is the same as who are you? Because we cannot speak about a seer that's somewhere else. If it's somewhere else, what is seeing this somewhere else? It's right here, it's coming from right here. So we don't have to leave the room now. You don't have to walk on Arunachala. You don't have to go into any ashram. You have to go nowhere, right now here. Neither to the left nor to the right, up or above, in or out.